Wow. The energy of this new moon is fierce. The new moon is a supermoon in Aquarius, and a supermoon is when the moon is closer to the earth than it normally is. And so you could be feeling the new moon energies more intensely than you typically do. I know that's the case for me. And because it's a new moon, a dark moon that we cannot see, it could feel like all of these emotions are coming up, maybe even a little bit of uncertainty, and you're not really sure where it's coming from. It's not like you can point to the big full moon and say, it's a full moon, that's why this is happening. It's a new moon, it's a little bit more mysterious. And so there could be something here happening that feels a little bit unsettling, you feel a little uncertain, and you're not really sure why or what's causing this heightened intuition into a disconcerting state I'm getting. You're having a heightened intuition about a disconcerting state. This could be a state within yourself, or maybe it's a collective state of mind, but it's like your intuition is tapping into something and it feels kind of nebulous, hazy, mysterious. And I've tried to do this reading, a few times, like this week. And I keep getting interrupted. And I'm getting interrupted now. I'm getting text messages coming through, phone calls. Like every time I sit down to do this message, it's like people suddenly urgently need my attention. And this is a message for you as well. There are so many distractions right now in the energetic force field that are trying to get your attention. But what Spirit wants you to do is to sit with this uncertainty, to sit with the unsettling feelings, because there is something in it, in these feelings, in this intuitive hit that you're getting, that is crucial for you to understand. And for some of you, it's a tool Spirit's giving you to help you move forward. Okay, and if you try to get out of this emotion, out of this uncertainty, or allow yourself to be distracted, or convince yourself that you know exactly what's going to happen in the future, then you could miss out on this opportune moment to find something out, discover something, or to get this tool. So I pulled out some cards to check out the vibe, see what's going on with the energy. And the first card that came out was smoke, and this is the card to represent the energy of the moon, the new moon. And what Spirit is saying with this card is that where there's smoke, there's fire. And you need to find the fire, because the fire is not one that you need to put out. It's a fire of purification. It's the tool. Your tool is fire. I'm seeing the Ace of Wands in my mind's eye. Spirit is trying to give you the Ace of Wands, a tool that you need, a torch to light the way forward. And in order to find the fire, we need to first smell or see the smoke. And that requires being present in the moment. So there could be something about your psychic abilities, your intuitive abilities to pick up on what's going on around you that need more presence, need more stillness in order for you to really get the information. The card that's representing you in this new moon energy is fog. Fog and smoke. This does feel quite hazy and unsettling. So you might feel a little foggy about a situation or about yourself, or maybe just feel it in the energy. But fog can be so beautiful because it's cooling. It's cool, let's admit it. Fog is always kind of cool. But what it does symbolically is it forces us to be present. We can't see ahead of us in the fog. We can't see behind us. We can't see beside us. All we can see is ourselves and what's immediately right there in the present moment. And Spirit's saying, great, that's exactly where we need you to be. We need you to feel into the present moment and not get distracted so that you can sense the smoke. Because if you miss it, you're missing an opportunity. That said, being in the fog too long can be extremely disorienting. So it's important that you get out of the fog eventually. And one way to clear up fog is to use heat. And that's what Spirit wants to give you. The fire, the torch, the Ace of Wands, to clear out the fog. But first you need to be in it to get the tool. You know what I'm saying? Because if you weren't in it, you wouldn't know you needed that tool. And why you need this thing that fire is representing here is because we're heading into a storm. A big storm, a portal, collectively. We have the number 44 here, which is an 8, which is the year of 2024. It adds up to an 8. So we're about to go through a portal, or we're already in it maybe, into a storm. And storms can be destructive. They can be scary. You can get blown away. Unless you find yourself at the center of the storm, the eye of the storm. Then you are perfectly safe, you are perfectly sound, and you are witnessing everything fly around you. And that's what Spirit's saying now is, if you get this tool, this information, if you go to the fire, you follow the smoke and go to the fire, then you will find your way to the center of the storm, to the eye of the storm, and the storm will become perfect for you. So something's about to happen collective in your life, or maybe collectively, that is quite the upheaval. But it's going to be the perfect upheaval for you, the perfect thing you need for all the puzzle pieces to finally fall in place, for you to take action in a new direction. But you got to stay present right now so you can get what you need before you go forward. So pay attention to what it is that you're sensing and picking up on. Not what you think is going to happen, not your feelings about the past, but the right now, what is going on for you. I feel guided to pull some charms. I just got interrupted and I could not avoid that one. Okay, so let's take out the charms. We're not going to give up here. We're not going to give in to the distractions. Let's take out the charms and then we'll get into the larger message. So what do you want to say from the charms, Spirit? These could be little clues for you, or maybe there's a message that wants to come through via the charms. We have the sun and the moon. Well, that's what happens with the new moon. The sun and the moon are conjunct. Okay, we have the key with love. The key, not a key, the key. A cornucopia, signaling some kind of abundance. We have a snake here, a coiled up snake. Not really coiled up. Interesting. We have Y, the letter S, reminding me of yes. We have a genie lamp, a trumpet, 555, signaling that storm, that change. We have Aries, maybe something about Aries season or Aries, the sign. And we have a saxophone. Let's get a couple more. A hat with a magician's wand. The wand, the Ace of Wands. Okay, a lemniscat, which is also looking like an 8. We have a mouse, like a computer mouse, and it says love on it. Interesting. Maybe that's a specific message for someone about something online. We have the scales of justice, or Libra. The sun again. The letter L and the letter J. Okay, let's move those aside and get into the message for you. So I was going to follow a spread, but after I got interrupted, I was thinking, screw that spread. Let's really get into what this tool is, or what it is that the fire represents in your reading, and then how it's a tool for you. Maybe I should write this down so I don't forget. Give me 1 second. What is the fire? Maybe this is a message too for you. Maybe you need to write something down so you don't forget it. Why do you need this tool? and then we'll see where we go from there. It's only 2 things, but sometimes when I'm in the thick of working with energy intuitively, like, it's really hard to hold on to thoughts that are not operating in the intuitive realm, like that kind of knowledge there. I feel like these are all like messages for you. Okay. What is the fire, Spirit? What is the fire? Let's get 3. There they are. The gem, the warrior, and the underworld. So you got to go to the underworld. I'm seeing like a crack here in pavement. It's like you need to go. Something is cracking apart, splitting apart, breaking open. That's a better word. Something is breaking open. Maybe it's the portal here. And Spirit wants you to go in, down, to find the flame, because that's where it is. But it feels to me with the warrior card, you might be trying to be brave and 1 second. There's the snake. Well, what I wanted to say there is you might be trying to be brave and act like the crack doesn't actually exist. But I don't know why that would be bravery. It seems braver to acknowledge what is and to investigate it further. So perhaps there's something going on where you're feeling like the bravest thing to do is just to ignore that, to not pay attention to that, and to just keep going forward. When in all reality, you need to investigate what's going on there. Something is breaking open for a reason. And look at this underworld here. It's breaking open because here's your fire, here's your tool, the gem. Now, Scorpio had this in their reading, so if you feel called to watch that reading, there's probably a connection here. There's some kind of precious... What is it? Hold on, let me get a card before I say. What is the gem exactly? There's something precious in somewhere you're not looking. This is what the fire is. What is the gem? The sage, purity. Whoa, the smoke again. I knew this was a fire of purification. Spirit wants you to go towards... Okay, hold on. So what's the underworld then? Where is the fire is what we need to ask. Where is the fire? It's in the underworld, but what is the underworld here? The 2 of Swords, it says the blind seal, the devil, and the karmic release with the sacred karmic deer. Oh. Well, the underworld represents here a psychic space that you have that's starting to break apart. Something you've been trying to hold together in your mind, in your psyche. You've been not wanting to really make a decision here. You've been avoiding a decision. And it's starting to break apart. So you have to make a decision to release a karmic cycle. And you have to make this decision, look at the fire, the flames coming out of the eyes, based on the Hangman. Okay. So you're releasing something karmic, something that was very shadowy with the Devil card here. And on this card, it says the Master of Lies. Maybe it's a person. Maybe it's an aspect of yourself. Maybe it's a situation you were convincing yourself was okay or it would get better. You have to make the decision to release this, but it's a sacrifice in some way. You feel as though you're sacrificing something, or you've been in this decision-making mode for such a long time, this space in your psyche. You've been sitting there, 444 on my clock. I just got a notification, turned on my screen, 444. Spirit is encouraging you to go to that place where you are still going back and forth about something, or maybe you've already decided but you don't feel good about your decision. You need to go back to that place in your mind, see something for what it is, we have nature, the seed of life. Whatever it is that you're seeing here, in that space, in that place, it's an opportunity. It's a seed. That's what the fire is. It's a seed for you to plant. And Spirit wants you to bring this seed with you to the portal, into the storm, into the eye of the storm. The eye of the storm, this gem right in your third eye. But you have to release something. You have to release something, okay? I know that like a lot of messages talk about releasing, but it's true. How can we bring in anything if our energetic vessel, being, soul, mind is full of something else? We can't accept. We have to let something go to accept. So if you want to bring in abundance, if you want to bring in new opportunity, new love, you have to make room for it. You have to make space for it. You have to purify something. You need to sage something out of your soul. Okay? And the way that you sage something out of your soul is that you realize that that whole situation, that karmic situation, well, there's a seed in there for you to plant. There's something being given to you via that situation, a gem. There's a gem there. And this is why you feel so uncertain, because you're like, what? I want to go forward. I have all these plans, but there's something like intuitively where you're like, something just doesn't feel right. Yeah, it's because you're not getting that seed. You're trying to move forward without still releasing something, or not really making the decision to release. And it's like you don't get that seed until you release. So tell me more about this seed. The shadow self, holy shit, the dark inner swamp. Oh my gosh. So the seed is your shadow self. And you might be like, Andy, how the hell is that a seed? Well, I've said this a lot recently in various sign readings, but you know, we tend to focus on the shadow as this place of like ugliness or wounded aspects of ourselves, and you know, all the things we don't want to see. And it is that. But the shadow self, the shadow space, it's really a space that we tuck all these aspects into. You know, we put them in the shadow. And these aspects that we put in the shadow, they're not nasty, ugly parts of ourselves. They're actually the best parts of ourselves, the beauty that we have within us, that somehow, some way, we told ourselves were no good. So we decided to hide them in the shadow. Maybe this came because somebody said that we weren't good at that, and so we never tried that again. Or someone said we're not worthy, so we decided that that worthy part of us, that ambitious part of us, that part that wants to go out there and have the courage to step into life, shouldn't be center stage. We should put it in the shadow. And then those like beautiful aspects of ourselves, all those gems, the creative aspects, the gentle, the vulnerability, all of those beautiful things about us, we put them in the shadow, and then they start to act out. Because they want to be seen. They want to live. They want to be integrated. Your vulnerable self, your inner child, your creative self, your loving heart, all of that, they want to be with you in the conscious present moment. And so they start to cause a ruckus so that you'll pay attention to them. Maybe get involved in situations that are kind of shitty, or you start acting out and you have to become more aware of yourself. You're like forced into awakening that what's going on with me? And really all that's happening is all the best parts of you are like trying to wake you up and get your attention. Say, remember me? So, this karmic situation here with the devil has forced you, in some sense, or gotten you to see your shadow side. And this usually happens when we come face to face with someone else's shadow. Our whole life gets turned upside down. And it's like we have to look at ourselves. We're like, there's no ignoring the pain. There's no ignoring the trauma. There's no ignoring the fear. There's no ignoring any of that, the shame, whatever it is. So that's the seed that this situation gave you. That's the gem, the awareness. And then when we look further into the fear, the guilt, the shame, the anger, whatever it is, we look at that. At first it's like, oh, God, am I really like that? Or why am I like that? As we keep going further in, we find, oh, it's just like my inner child acting out, you know? I'm like that because I'm not allowing this vulnerable part of myself to be seen, or I'm not allowing this part of myself to connect with others. And that's why I'm angry. Or that part of me that really wants to be loved is just scared. That's what's scared. That's what the fear is. You know, we go deeper and we find the gem. So, you know, the shadow self is not like, oh, hey, find out all the things that suck about yourself, you know, and then like become aware of them and then you're balanced. No, it's actually find all the gems in the shadow. Maybe that's a better way we should start talking about shadow work. Gem work. Let's go find the gems in the shadow. Yeah, it's scary to go in there. And that's why Spirit's giving you the flashlight, the Ace of Wands, the torch, to go find the gems. So this karmic situation gave you the seed to look at your shadow self. And as you look at your shadow self, you find your gem. And you slap it right into your third eye. This part of you that you've been ignoring, that you haven't allowed to come out. This part of you that is just so beautiful. You find it and you wear it like a badge of honor, and you let that part of you actually guide the way. You know, our inner child that we've ignored, or that we've said like, don't try new things. Every time you try new things, you fail, or whatever it is for you, you know, that's actually the part of us that is so intuitive, so creative, so enlightened, so conscious, you know, it's all the things that we want to be. It's there. It's in that thing, that part of us. So you're going to find it. And you're going to let that lead you forward. And then look, the perfect storm, a rainbow. The perfect storm becomes a rainbow. And I got another interruption coming through. Let's close this out and see what's going to manifest out of this new moon energy after you find that gem, after you go into the shadow self, and you take that seed with you into the storm, and you plant it at the center of the storm, in the eye of the storm. You plant this seed. Let's see. what's going to come from this, Spirit. And you know, again, as you can tell, I was interrupted, so I had to stop. So I was thinking about the message here. Yes. Okay. I was thinking about the message, and I was like, how is this even like close to Aquarian energy or the Aquarian new moon? Like this, is this even a message about the new moon? But of course it is, because Aquarius is all about connecting with others. It's the humanitarian sign. It's the creative sign. And we really can't forge those connections with others or even create for our highest good until we really love ourselves, including the aspects that we've tucked away. You know, so of course, Aquarian energy, Aquarius in its highest form, is a form of love, not just for others, but also for the self, and first and foremost for the self. And many of you out there already do love yourself, and that's beautiful. But a lot of people, and maybe some of you who are here, have trouble loving themselves. What do you want to say about that? It's going to take some time, the Seven of Pentacles. But one of the things that you can do is reflect on all that you've done to get to where you are now. You're resilient, and that counts for something huge. So let me show you what's going to come out of all of this. Oh, we have one sugar hiding behind gold. Turning lead to gold. Gold and sugar. Look how beautiful these cards are. So this is what this perfect storm is going to feel like for you. Let's have a look in the book and see. Gold, illumination, splendor, culmination. The alchemist gold is no ordinary gold. It is not found in rings or coins or necklaces. It is a substance buried deep within, sometimes referred to as gold of the wise, philosophic gold, the eternal stone, or the divine, among countless other names. For our purposes, we seek not the physical metal, but the mystical essence within each alchemist. How do we recognize it? It mimics qualities of the metal itself. It's soft and radiant, and its planetary counterpart, the sun, which came out twice, is warm and bright in the charms. It's no wonder gold is associated with the heart. When this card arrives, there is something of incredible value at hand. It is marvelous and rare. Cherish it. Get to know its properties and its source. The gold card carries a distinct shadow. If mistaken for a purely physical material, it can lead to greed and excess, causing the alchemists to lose their way. Reverence is the key. So that gem that you find, that seed that you plant, is gold. Your heart, your soft and radiant heart, begins to grow in the eye of a perfect storm. So poetic. Okay, let's see what sugar says. Sacred sweetness, pleasure, attraction. Oh, how sugar dances on the tongue. No matter how intellectual and scholarly our pursuits, sugar reminds us of our longing for simple pleasures. Until the 12th century, our need for sweetness, it is, after all, one of the 5 essential tastes, was fulfilled by raw honey offered by the bees. This material had many medicinal properties and was known in alchemy as a sacred elixir. Now, most of our sources of sweetness, both literally and metaphorically, are highly processed, defined for us by a culture of consumption. This card is a call to explore the simple sweetness in life. Can you add tenderness to your alchemical experiment? How about joy or even laughter? It is likely the pleasure you crave will not be found from manufactured means, but from the childlike wonder residing in the heart. Remember the alchemical wisdom of like attracts like. The power of attraction and overcoming aversion. Your sweet night, your sweet night? Okay, your sweet night maybe is coming in, but your sweetheart. Your sweetheart. You're a sweetheart. Aw. Your sweetheart is what you're taking with you, is what Spirit wants you to go find. Follow that smoke. Sit in the uncertainty, in the uneasiness. Find the fire. Go to the underworld. Go into the shadow. Get the gem. Then take it. Plant it as a seed in the perfect storm, at the center of the perfect storm, and watch it grow into gold. It's going to be so sweet. Music shut off. I think we're done here. All right, guys. I love you so much. Happy new moon, and I'll see you next time.